Alright guys, this is a Longplay review for P47 Thunderbolt on the Amstrad CPC, released by Firebird in 1989. And yeah, note there it's called P47 Thunderbolt. There's a bit of confusion over the names. For example, the arcade flyer here just calls it P47. When we actually boot up the arcade version, it's called P47 The Phantom Fighter. When it was released in Japan, it was called P47 The Freedom Fighter. And when we actually boot up the Amstrad version, it's got the Japanese name of P47 The Freedom Fighter, despite the box having P47 Thunderbolt. We'll just call it P47 from now on. But before we get to the Amstrad version, we're going to take a look at the arcade version first. I'm playing this in MAME, and this is so we can compare the two, really, how it's converted to the Amstrad. So pay attention to the graphics, sound effects, music, how it plays, how it feels, the sprites, the design, the scrolling, the smoothness and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll see how the Amstrad conversion fares, comparing it to the arcade one. Also note the cutscene here. And as you can see, guys, it's a horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up, and I do enjoy this genre of game. And this is a very nice arcade game. Now, Jaleco probably weren't known for the best quality of arcade games. They did quite a few stinkers. And usually the quality was sort of middling to average. However, this is definitely one of their better, or maybe one of their best games. They were certainly behind sort of Capcom and Konami in terms of like where they compared with the other publishers of arcade games. But this is definitely a very good horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up. Plays nice and smooth. Good sized playing area. Oh, even though I got hit there. The difficulty curve I think is just right on this. And it's the key thing is as well, guys. It's good fun. It's really good fun to play. Some shoot 'em ups can be very frustrating. But I think when you die in P47, it's because of your own fault rather than sort of like poor game design. There's lots of power-ups in the game. As you can see here, I've got a weapon that will shoot a load of bullets in the last direction I was facing. There's a bonus life to pick up there. Yes, so there's also missiles, there's bombs you can drop as well. Oh, there's the bomb weapon. And you're going to need it for the end of level boss. In fact, you'll probably need these bombs for most of the end of level bosses, so make sure you pick it up when you know you're towards the end of the level. And we're going to see if the Amstrad version has this end of level boss and how that plays too. We'll get to that very shortly. The music is okay in the arcade version. It's nothing to write home about, but it's perfectly decent. And there we go. We're going to take a very quick look at the second level because we've got some parallax scrolling on the go here. Apologise for the frame rate here. You might see a bit of ghosting on the sprites, and the scrolling isn't perfect. It's how it's been captured, unfortunately. So I do apologise for that. I think it's captured in 60 frames per second, but the Amstrad footage is captured in 50 frames per second, and we care mostly about the Amstrad footage. And it is now time to start the Amstrad version. We don't know who the programmer of this game is. It's not listed anywhere. It may be a guy called Ross Harris. Oh, very nice loading screen there. That's who. So Ross Harris is the guy that CPC Rules website lists, and World of Spectrum does too for the Specky version, but I'm not sure how accurate that is. But if it was the same guy, he was responsible for Sonic Boom, Wizard Willy, etc. on the Amstrad. So this is the title screen. Pretty basic, but we get a high score table too, but some pretty decent music. which does sort of loop around fairly quickly, but it's still quite a jolly piece of music. I like that. Yeah, that's where it starts looping again, so we'll start the game off here. Oh, we get the cutscene picture as well. Very nice. Just like the arcade version. And here we go. Wow, lovely Amstrad graphics here. No music in game, but we've got some nice crunchy sound effects there. Shoot the helicopters for weapon pickups, or potentially extra lives. So we've got E there, that's the spray missile. And to be honest, I think this is probably my... Oh, no, actually the multi-missile M is probably my favourite weapon. So it shoots like a large chunky missile out, and then it expands out later on. It kind of expands too late though, and you might have missed a load of fighters and stuff. Oh, that's a bonus life pickup. I think you get a bonus life, a potential of a bonus life pickup every odd numbered level, levels 1, 3, 5, etc. But watch out for them. Yeah, don't fly into the things, the turrets are on there, that will kill you. And you can also crash into the floor and into some parts of the countryside too. So we got the B for bombs pick up there, and here's the end of level boss already, the train. And so far it's very, very accurate to the arcade original. Lovely, lovely graphics though. Okay, it's a little, the playing area is perhaps a little bit small. We're playing this in the correct aspect ratio as well, and the borders you see on the video at the moment, you see the P47 box art side spines there on the left and the right. That's basically covering where the border, the edges of where the border of the Amstrad would be. So you get an idea of how big the screen size would be on a real Amstrad, hopefully. And there we go, nice explosion effects there as we destroy the end of level boss. I'm not sure what the missed bonus there is. I got 0 points there, but whatever. Maybe it's bonus for not missing any of the fighters or planes or whatever. And here we go, on quite a famous level 2 really, because it's got parallax scrolling, and it's a lovely sunset there. A lovely use of the Amstrad's palette of red, oranges and yellows there. And in fact, if anyone's ever doing like a feature on this game, either in magazines, online, or looking for a thumbnail, they will use probably a screenshot from level 2 on the Amstrad. Oh, excellent. We've got the M multi-missile pickup. We will leave the E pickup there. E is for the spray missile, which we saw on the first level. I think this by far is the best weapon pickup to use before we get to a boss battle. Look at that, it just basically covers the whole screen almost. I love it. I love big, juicy, like power-up weapons that cause mass destruction. That's awesome. So we do have... Oh, there's T. That's for directable fire. We saw a bit of that in the arcade footage earlier. It's wherever you're facing, a hail of bullets will spray out, so you can sort of direct your special weapon around the screen. Quite a cool power-up that, but quite difficult to control, because it will fire in the direction that you're currently moving. Now the game tells you that there's an energy level for your weapon pickups, and each time you collect one of those power-ups, your energy level increases starting at level 1 and increasing to a maximum of level 4. And your energy level determines the number of special weapons that each pickup releases. I'm reading from the manual here actually. For example, when you've collected the pickup for the bombs, you will fire 1 bomb for each level of energy. There's nothing on the heads-up display or screen showing you what level your... Oh, that's S pick up there for speed up there. It doesn't show you what level energy you are for your special weapon. So basically, as long as you don't die, as long as you picked up at least 4 of them, you're at your maximum level of your weapon. So even if you pick up a different weapon, you'll still be at level 4. So there we go. And we're going to try and do this long play, guys, without dying. So this may look a bit easy. Trust me, it is not. Certainly the later levels after this one. I think this is the end of level boss. You could have the bombs for him. I think this is probably the only boss really where using the multi-missiles is probably the best weapon. Otherwise, use the bombs that drop from your plane for the other end of level bosses. Oh, and I got a missed bonus there, 3,000 points. I don't understand what that was for really, but there we go. Oh, I got another cutscene. So we get another cutscene every 2 levels, essentially. Not a cutscene picture. Yes, avoid the countryside and the hills there. You can crash and die in them. I think you don't crash and die in the trees there, but yes, there we go. So even more tighter now. So that's the same pickup we've already got, the M for the multi-missiles. We'll pick it up anyway. So we'll use the spray missile just to show you guys here. In comparison, it's my second favourite weapon, ignoring the bomb weapon, which you'll need for boss battles. So you need to be quite far back on the screen to use it really. So here's the directional fire weapon. Let's just show you all the weapons here. As you can see, it moves in the direction that you are facing. But we've picked up the bomb weapon here because we'll be coming to the end of level boss very shortly. S for speed up. For some reason, you actually lose your speed up at the start of the next level. You don't retain it between levels, which is a bit of a shame. Ah, there you go. Bonus life. We found one on level 1. We're now finding one on level 3. So I believe it's every odd numbered level there's a helicopter with a bonus life to get. And here we go. Big, big tank. So what I suggest here, guys, is perhaps to stay at the top of the screen as much as you can. And take your time to manoeuvre between its bullets or whatever. Because as they get higher and higher, they spread out further and further, giving you more of a wiggle room to like get between its orange bullets being fired at you. And just sit there basically dropping bombs. It perhaps take longer to destroy the tank rather than going face to face with it at a horizontal level, same horizontal level as the tank. But you'll be much safer this way. So yes, let's tell you some of let's just tell you what's on the manual about the game. So we have a bit of a backstory maybe. So P47, the plane itself. The manual tells us the Republic P47 Thunderbolt was one of the top American fighters in World War II. In 1943, they were under the control of the British RAF Fighter Command and operating from bases in England. There you go, there's the tank gone. Their principal tasks were relatively short-range sorties over northern France. The following year, they were equipped with drop tanks, giving the extra fuel needed to complement their immense firepower, and enabled deep daylight raids further behind enemy lines. The P47 was at the time the fastest and heaviest bomber in the USAAF, and in combat consistently proved its immense strength. With exceptionally good dive characteristics and hard-hitting armaments, the lead sledge was the 8th Air Force's premier deadly weapon. And there we go. And then it tells you about the game. Quite simple, doesn't give you any real backstory, it just says fly your P47 through 8 frenzied levels of enemy activity, bombing ground vehicles and shooting aircraft. At the end of each level, you must confront and destroy a large enemy battleship, tank or plane to progress to the next level. So there we go, guys, that's all the manual tells us, apart from a bit about the special weapons, which I already discussed. So nice level here with this above the sea. We've got a nice rippling effect of the sea there. Yes, it's a bit of a flat sea, but it's a nice effect anyway for an Amstrad or 8-bit home computer. And here's the huge battleship boss at the end of this level. Make sure you pick up the bombs, and it will keep spawning, I think, bomb weapon pickups if you haven't got one. Now that battleship will come back, and then it will eventually stop still, and then you will have to basically just completely destroy it. Get rid of as much as you can here for points, but you really only have to just destroy it when it actually is at a standstill, which will be very shortly. Probably any... There we go. Right. Try and take out as much of the guns as possible here. But to be honest, once you've destroyed all the gun turrets, it still sprays out it starts spraying out the same amount of bullets eventually anyway. It's hard to know if you're actually supposed to be attacking a certain part of the ship, but just keep dropping bombs everywhere and anywhere. Stay to the top of the screen if possible, and manoeuvre left and right between the bullets. Remember, the further up you are, the further the spread of the enemy bullets will be, so you can navigate in between them. Sometimes I did this little manoeuvre there, I'm going up, left, down, then up, right and stuff, but sometimes there's several salvos of bullets can actually catch you out. There we go. That boss is done. That was quite a tough boss, actually, guys. I'm making this look easy because I'm trying to do this on without losing a life. Trust me, that wasn't easy to do. That was pretty tough, and things are quite tough from that level and this level onwards. Oh, I've got a picture of a tank in the snow. And we've got some parallax scrolling on the go again, guys. Sadly, no sunset, but a nice sort of wintry kind of sun, maybe. Or is this at night? Not quite sure. But lovely use again of the Amstrad's CPC palette of blues, because there's a dark blue, a lighter blue, a grey, which works well, and there's a purple as well. So that mixing those colours together can have a very, very nice effect. And mode naught here is being used really, really well. Like the graphics, sprites and stuff are not too chunky. Using mode naught can often result in like big chunky pixels and sprites looking like giant sort of blocks of Lego. But no, really nice sprite design here, guys. Able to see bullets very, very well, which is good. One of the big problems in sort of shoot 'em up games is like often the bullets are the same colour as the background or other fighters, and yeah, okay, the bullets, your main bullets are the same as other enemy fighters, but it didn't seem to be too much of a problem. You know which direction they're going to be coming in and where yours are going. So review scores at the time. Amstrad Action, the big Amstrad magazine of the time, I think in issue 54, gave it an 89% rating, and gaining the AA Rave Award. And also of notable about the review was they gave the graphics specifically a whopping 97%. Wow. Well, the graphics are good. I don't think they're like 97% worthy graphics, but they are still very, very good graphics. So there we go. Other versions of P47 on the 8-bit home computers. Specky version. Plays as nice, and I think it was also by the same programming team. I think that might have been Source. but unfortunately it's 2-colour graphics, so it doesn't look as nice and makes it hard to make out enemies and bullets. So yeah, so I didn't need the bomb weapon there. You were better off with the M for multi-missile weapon there for that plane battle against the boss. Otherwise, pick up the bombs. So yeah, the Specky version, very, very good. Very similar to the Amstrad one, probably by the same guys, or it shared a fair amount of code. But there's no slowdown on the Amstrad version. So maybe it had some very, very base core code that was shared between the Specky and Amstrad, but then it was optimised for the Amstrad. So very, very well done, Firebird and the programmers behind this. Yeah, I think you do have to avoid the pyramids here. But we've now got an Egyptian theme level, which is very, very cool. And like again, the Amstrad's oranges and yellows and reds. Oh yes, you don't have to avoid the pyramids. What am I talking about earlier? You can have very, very nice looking desert levels on the Amstrad Bits Palette. Commodore 64 version. Weirdly, to my eyes, doesn't have as smooth scrolling as the Amstrad version. That is really odd, because normally the Commodore 64 excels at scrolling, and especially scrolling shoot-em-ups and stuff like that. And he has quite messy graphics, but still plays really well. But the nice music in-game makes it a lot more exciting. Specky and Amstrad versions missing the music in-game means it feels a bit more of a barren experience and empty. So well done to the Commodore version, but it's probably, in my opinion, the weakest of the 3 8-bit versions, maybe? I don't know, maybe it ties between the Specky and yes itself. So maybe I personally think the Amstrad version is best, but maybe I'm biased, guys, because I am an Amstrad guy. But all 3 versions are perfectly good, perfectly playable, all good in their own right. So here we have another tank boss battle here. So it does end up reusing some of the bosses. We had the same plane as well from level 2 in the previous level. And now we're having another tank battle. So again, same tactic, stay at the top of the screen, drop your bombs, and shift yourself left and right between the bullets that are spraying out. Ooh, very quickly destroyed him there, excellent. Hey, another cut screen there. Another tank. Nice picture. Ooh, very, very nearly died there. Actually, lucky. It was lucky that the game makes you temporarily invulnerable at the start of a level. Otherwise, I would have lost a life there. So now this is very, very tough because you've got to take out the ground targets very, very quickly, because these tanks start spraying the screen with bullets. But as it's doing that, then a bomber comes down and that's going to spray the screen with bullets as well. These levels are really, really tough now. And we're now being overwhelmed, so it's just a kind of scramble for survival rather than trying to clear the screen of all enemies. Maybe the bomb weapon would be useful here for getting rid of those tanks, but then you won't have much to destroy the bombers unless you get above them, which is kind of dangerous. So just muddling our way through here. But now we've picked up the bomb weapon because we're going to need it for the boss on this level. Oh, speed up. There we go, we need that. Yikes, that's really, really tight. So collision detection is really, really good on this game, guys, as you can tell. So I'm going to sum up a bit of a review there. Oh, there we go. Extra life pickup on, I think this is level 7, so every odd numbered level. So really, really fantastic graphics, really good meaty sound effects, nice, tight and responsive controls. Scrolling is actually pretty good and smooth on the Amstrad, for the Amstrad really. Parallax scrolling on the go as well, that's been achieved. That's a fantastic achievement, very hard to pull off. Collision detection is spot on. Plays at decent speed and frame rate. What more can you ask for? Because if you compare it to the arcade original, it is a very, very, very close and very, very good conversion. Very, very faithful. What more, as I said, can you ask for, really? Maybe music in-game would have been a really nice touch, but this is one of the best horizontally scrolling shooters on the Amstrad, for sure. So I'm going to give this a whopping 9 out of 10 from me. I really enjoyed this. It's good fun to come back for a quick blast. So the only thing is, obviously, we're repeating similar boss battles here. Another tank, sadly. Oh, and we get 2,000 points there for the mist bonus. Again, I'm not quite sure what that is. Oh, we got a snow effect as well as the sea. Wow. Very, very cool. I think it does end up slowing things down a touch. It's kind of hard to tell, but I think it has a little bit. Maybe just drop the frame rate slightly. But do you know what? I think this is the last level anyway. So what the hell? Let's throw it in there in the game. You've got this far. Trying to have sort of a spectacular end to the game. So I've got my favourite weapon here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need the bombs though for the boss. I find this level actually slightly easier than the previous level. Oh yeah, and I should probably mention there was actually a sequel to P47 in 1995. Just in the arcades as P47 Aces, though I've never played it before or seen it, so I can't tell you if it's any good or not. Here we go. Here's the final boss, and yes, it's the big battleship again. This time we're fighting in the snow. Make sure you've got the bombs as well. As before, the game will keep spawning the bomb pickup, or the helicopters with the bomb pickup. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to be able to destroy this thing. It's a little bit of a shame it does reuse bosses throughout the game, but they are quite impressive, especially this battleship. As before, again, you don't need to destroy everything on the battleship, but another bomb pickup as well there, and yeah, try and stay at the top of the screen as much as possible. You've got a lot smaller plane space this time. The battleship takes up like literally half the screen if you could look diagonally across. A lot tighter plane area here. Thankfully their bullets is quite easy to make out against the black night sky, even the yellow and red. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was very tight there. Oh my god. But yeah, just keep bombing away. You should be a goner. There we go. Lovely explosion effects there. Actually, yeah, the explosions are really nice, actually. Really nicely done. And that's the game beaten, essentially. But unfortunately, guys, we don't actually get an ending. As you might have recognised the screen here, it just loops back to level 1. Yeah, and we're back to level 1 again. So we're just going to kill ourselves here to show, just so we can show you the game over screen and high score table and stuff like that. But there we go, guys. That is P47 Thunderbolt, or the Freedom Fighter, on the Amstrad CPC long play and review. And yeah, you can crash into the hillside there. Yeah, so a 9 out of 10 from me. Probably one of the best scrolling, horizontally scrolling shoot 'em ups on the Amstrad. Certainly better than like UN Squadron and stuff like that. Even though that was pretty decent. And there we go, game over. Congratulations, please enter your name, as always. Yeah, I'm just really impressed by the graphics, the presentation, and how close it is to the arcade original as well. So he's got to get extra marks for that. And a really nice game over screen there as well. Now, obviously, I've been playing the disc version. I'm not quite sure how the cassette version holds up with, like, does he have to load all those screens in separately? I don't know. But there we go. But yeah, area, got to area 9, so 8 levels in total, and then it loops around again. Doesn't increase in difficulty as far as I could make out there. There you go, guys. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm trying to get long plays and reviews every Monday, live streams every Friday. So there we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and goodbye.
So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click a like below, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And over that way, there's another video for you to check out. Zypho, out.